Welcome, children. Let us study the third part of chapter, first chapter of class 6 history. So far, we have studied what can we know about the past, where did people live, why do people travel nowadays, name of the land, finding out about the past. This thing we have learned. So, in the previous discussion of the chapter, you have done this thing. Now let us see page number 5, right side margin. See, children, near the picture, an old inscription. This is the picture, boys. An old inscription. This inscription dates to about 2250 years ago and was found in Kandahar, present day Afghanistan. Kandahar is in Afghanistan, near Pakistan. It was inscribed on the orders of a ruler named Ashoka. Ashoka, he was a great ruler. So it was inscribed on the orders of that ruler Ashoka. You will read about him in chapter number 8. When we write anything, we use a script. Scripts consist of letters or signs. When we read what is written or speak, we use a language. These inscriptions was inscribed in two different scripts and languages, Greek top and Aramaic below, which were used in this area, in this picture is used. So we have discussed up to here in our previous class. Children, let us continue the remaining part of the chapter. Please open page number 6. Here, above this page, we find two pictures. First is left side, a port from an old city. Ports like these were used about 4,700 years ago. During those days, this type of port was used. Again, let us see towards its right side, an old silver coin. Coins such as this one were in use from about 2500 years ago. At the time, this type of coins were used. In what ways is the coin different from the ones we use today? Those coins, to compare those coins with our present day coins, what is the difference you find, children, here? Ancient coins and modern coins. In ancient days, coins were made of copper, silver, and gold, whereas in modern days, coins are made of steel. In ancient days, let us see another point. The weight of coins were heavy, whereas in modern days, the weight of coins are very lighter. Now let us continue the chapter. Archaeologists also look for bones of animals, birds, and fish. Archaeology, I already told you what is archaeology. Boys, they also look for bones of animals, birds, and fish to find out what people ate in the past. What were the food of those people in the past days, in ancient times, to find out that. They used to find out these animals, birds, and fishes' bones. Plant remains survive far more rarely if seeds of grains or pieces of wood have been burned. They survive in a charred form. Do you think cloth is found frequently by archaeologists? See, whether you are thinking that clothes which nowadays we are wearing, were they found frequently? Historians, that is, scholars who study the past, often use the word source to refer to the information found from manuscripts, inscriptions, and archaeology. So they refers to those information which are found from these manuscripts, inscriptions, and archaeology. Once sources are found, learning about the past becomes an adventure as we reconstruct it bit by bit. So once they find that sources, learning it becomes an adventure to find out a new thing as a reconstruction it bit by bit, slowly and slowly. So historians and archaeologists are like detectives. We use all these sources like clues to find out about our past. They are like detectives, like CID, like that. We use all those sources like clues in order to find out about our past, what was happened, what were found here, where it was found, this everything. Now let us see one past or many. Did you notice the title of this book? Our past. The name of our history book of class 6 is Our Past. Did you notice that? We have used the word past in plural to draw attention to the fact that the past was different for different groups of people. It is written in the plural form. Singular form is past and it is written past. One s is added. When s added, it becomes plural. So it is done so to draw attention to the fact that the past was different for different groups of people. It was different in different times. For example, the lives of herders or farmers were different from those of kings and queens. Condition, living condition of the people, those who were domesticating animals or farmers, their conditions and the condition of kings and queens. There is a gulf of difference between the living standard of those people. The lives of merchants were different from those of crafts, persons, and so on. Likewise, the living standard of merchants, these were quite different from those of craft persons, like this. Also, as is true even today, people follow different practices and customs in different parts of the country. Also, it is true even today, people they followed, they persisted different practices, practices and customs in different parts of the country. For example, today most people living in Andaman Islands get their own food by fishing, hunting, and collecting forest produce. They used to survive. They used to earn their livelihood by this fishing, hunting, and collecting. I mean, those people who are living in Andaman Islands. By contrast, most people living in cities depend on others for supplies of food. See, to compare the people, those who are living in cities, and then the people, those who are living in Andaman. See, cities people, they depend on others for supplies of food. City, they cannot grow their crops or anything, that means whatever they want to sell or do business, whatever they want, they have to bring it from other. So they depend on other. Differences such as this existed in the past as well. The same differences it was found in the past also. Besides, there is another kind of difference. We know a great deal about kings and the battles they fought because they kept records of their victories. So beyond than this, there is another kind of difference also. We know a great deal about kings and the battles they fought is because they kept records of their victories, which king ruled where and who defeated whom. These records were kept. Generally, ordinary people such as hunters, fishing folk, gatherers, farmers, or herders did not keep records or what they did. Generally, you see, ordinary people like as hunters, fishing folk, gatherers, farmers, herders, they did not keep any records of what they did in the past. While archaeology helps us to find out about their lives. See, this archaeology it helps us what? To find out about their lives, how they live, what they used to do, this thing. There is much that remains unknown. Still, there are much remains children which is not known by the people. Now let us see what do dates mean. Here you will find children BC AD, which I will explain you after the end of this part of the chapter. Let us see. If somebody asks you the date, you will probably mention the day, month, and year, 2000 and something like that. If anybody asks you, you will say like this: day, month, year, like this. These years are counted from the date generally assigned to the birth of Jesus Christ. These years, you see, these are counted from the date generally assigned from the birth of Jesus Christ, the founder of Christianity. Jesus Christ, he was the founder of Christianity. Christian religion was founded by Jesus Christ. So, 2000 means 2000 years after the birth of Christ. It has started to count after the birth of Jesus Christ. All dates before the birth of Christ are counted backwards and usually have the letters BC. All the dates you see, which were counted backwards, means before the birth of Jesus Christ usually have the letters BC, before Christ, before the birth of Jesus Christ added on. In this book, we will refer to the dates going back from the present using 2000 as our starting point. Here in this book of class 6 history, here we will refer to the dates going back from the present using 2000 as our starting point. Okay, boys. Let us proceed to page number 8. Here you see these letters and dates. You have to keep it in your mind. BC we have seen stands for before Christ. Before Christ, before that means existence of Jesus Christ. It was known as BC. So full form of BC is before Christ. You will sometimes find AD before dates. This stands for two Latin words. AD. Sometimes you will find this, boys. So you should not get confused here. This stands for two Latin words, Anno Domini. Anno Domini, meaning in the year of Lord, that is Jesus Christ. So 2012 can also be written as AD 2012. You can write 2012 as 2012 AD. It's not a problem. Sometimes CE is used instead of AD and BCE instead of BC. The letters CE stand for Common Era and BCE for Before Common Era. We use these terms because the Christian era is now used in most countries of the world. Christian era is used in most countries of the world. In India, we began using this form of dating from about 200 years ago in our country. India, we started using this form of dating from about 200 years ago. And sometimes the letters BP meaning before present are used. So these children terms AD, BC, CE, BCE, this thing you will find, and don't get confused. What are these BC, AD full form? You must get by heart this so that you are not getting any confused. Now find two dates mentioned on page 3. Which set of letters would you use for them? You do see this one here in page number 3. From here you have to find out. Let's conclude of the chapter here. See you again. Thank you all.